Hello everybody, I'm Alfred, and the video we're about to watch and listen to is titled World Premiere VinFast Reveals Futuristic EV. So let's get started.
What's up guys, it's Supercar Blondie here in LA and we're about to see a global reveal of a brand new car company. It's called VinFast. You ready for this? 2 brand new models, let's see it. VinFast is going to take over the EV world. These are all electric vehicles, and look here, this is how you're going to identify it in future with the V here.
This is interesting, and this emergence of electric technology, electric vehicles, thanks to all the fear mongering by the climate change crowd, and of course Tesla is dominating because it was a leader. It doesn't mean that Tesla will remain a leader, because that is just the fact. It's a matter of good business practices and good products that will win at the end of the day, as always. It's not always the innovator or the leader in an industry that is the one that persists through it and remains that way on top. That is just the fact. But this is a new player and this is a new company, VinFast. That's very interesting.
These beautiful V-shaped lights as well. V stands for VinFast Vietnam, and for the first time they have launched in the US. This is their bigger model. As we look at the design, these guys have teamed up with a company called Pininfarina. Now you guys might know this company. I've featured it on my channel so many different times. It's actually a coach builder in Italy, and what they do is they take cars and they make unique either one-offs for a customer, or they make like a limited series of a particular car. One of the coolest designs.
That is a business idea. A lot of you remember the Pimp My Ride series, and the Pimp My Ride series was something that MTV did, and let me see if there is an ad for it. And Exhibit, the rapper, will shop at people's houses and he will give them a free customization of their car. And let me write Pimp My Ride. Exhibits. So we'll just look at a brief clip so that you will get what I'm saying. Let me see if there's a trailer for it. That will be better to view. No, just some clips. So let's just see this to give you an idea of what.
So please, MTV, pimp my ride.
Tanita, check out your brand new ride.
And this is that was Exhibit, So people with busted up cars, get their cars customized, and this was MTV's one of MTV's early reality TV shows.
My ride.
Tanita, check out your brand new ride.
And you see what they did with it. You see how they have improved the car. She's falling with excitement. So you see that busted up car, you see how they have improved it.
Oh my God.
Look at how the changes they have made from what it was to this. Now, the reason why I showed you this was because of what that company was doing. Of course, somebody building a company, starting a company that gets off this idea of creating custom cars, based on what we just saw from this other company. What they are doing is that they are creating one-offs. The company that Supercar Blondie, who posted the video World Premiere VinFast Reveals Futuristic EV. What she said about the company basically creates one-off cars for customers, just custom cars for customers, and specific for the customer. unique, and of course that is a good unique business model. That is a way of really getting into the car manufacturing industry without having to deal with the competition from all the other giant car manufacturers, because you are creating specifically for individuals. That is a good marketing strategy and idea, and we, as the Investors Club, we need to think about that and really go at that. That is a way to break into car manufacturing. It's an interesting thing. So let's look at what she said, and you can strike the parallel with what Pimp My Ride was doing. And how a business structure can be built out of making custom cars for individual customers. Just one-off cars. There's no other car like that in the world. It's built to the custom preferences. Like put custom game here. A bowling alley, a miniature bowling alley, or a miniature this and all of that in trucks and whatever, that is custom to the individual.
These guys have teamed up with a company called Pininfarina. Now, you guys might know this company. I've featured it on my channel so many different times.
The Pininfarina is a company that that I'm looking at, because of what they are doing. Their business model is very smart. It's something that anyone can get into. As long as you have the money and the determination. You don't even need to have the money, the determination itself, and be interested in getting the right know-how, and every other thing will fall in place.
Pininfarina. Now, you guys might know this company. I've featured it on my channel so many different times. It's actually a coach builder in Italy, and what they do is they take cars and they make unique either one-offs for a customer, or they make like a limited series of a particular car. One of the coolest,
you see that a limited series of a particular car, that is something. It is kind of like the monetization of the Pimp My Ride concept in the best way possible, that you are actually a player in the car manufacturing space, because you can say, okay, you make a series out of a Tesla by customizing the Tesla, or customizing a Mercedes, or whatever, making a series out of it, or making something totally unique, and giving it a different brand name. So that is where my mind is going, with this.
Builders has actually worked with these guys to design what I think, in my opinion, is a cool looking car. I love how this is flush up against the car here. I love that. So these pop out. You got the little V here, and let's just have a look at the back. This is the bigger version, as we said, the VFE36. You've got this big tail light running all the way from the side into the V formation and back around here. Before these two models launched, they actually launched their very first EV called the E34 in Vietnam, and just within the first 3 months they sold 25,000 of these cars. VinFast is actually part of a much bigger group.
Let's listen to that numbers. Let's listen to those numbers again. Within the first year, how many did they sell?
The E34 in Vietnam, and just within the first 3 months they sold 25,000 of these cars.
Within the first 3 months, they sold 25,000 of the car. They sold 25,000 units of this model within 3 months. That's a market. Someone once said that if someone is able to sell a product within a market, there's space for you to create a similar product or a better product and also sell to the same market. So I'm talking to the Investors Club.
VinFast is actually part of a much bigger group called Vin Group in Vietnam. So they do real estate, technology, education, amongst other things. So
it's interesting how all this is happening in Vietnam, and we don't know. And VinFast being a part of a bigger conglomerate. This is the things that you have to know. And it's interesting how conglomerates rule. Now look at Google. Google started just as a search engine, but look at all the different things it owns, and that is where its strength comes from. This diversity, this range of subsidiary companies that are into so many diverse industries that are not related. Of course, due to technology, it seems that everything will soon be related, because technology cuts across every industry. Even industries that were not so tech or computer or internet intensive, there's a way to integrate the internet and the use of computers and chip-based technology into so many different industries.
set up an EV company. Why? Because they wanted to solve a problem, and that problem in Vietnam was there were no locally produced electric vehicles. So in order to get one, it was very, very costly.
You know,
having to
it's
bring one
interesting. I
from
didn't know that
overseas. So
Vietnam is this beautiful. You know, when you think of Vietnam, your mind goes to the Vietnam War, the poverty of that era, and you know, all the hungry children and all of that. You know, it's just kind of like Africa, where a lot of people who've never been to Africa, you know, think of Africa, they think of a bunch of poor, dark-skinned people, you know, begging for food, you know, hungry and all of that. They don't see a lot of changes that have taken place and are still taking place.
this is what they came out with. They came out with the E34 to begin with. Now they've got 2 new models. Back in Vietnam, they also have electric scooters, they have electric buses, and so they're going into like that electric
this powerful
space.
electric
How is
scooters, electric buses. You know, Vietnam is really heavy on the electric movement. You know, irrespective of what you think about climate change, there are business opportunities that climate change has, you know, presented the world with. And of course, the push for climate change eliminates certain past business mechanisms like cars that use fuel. What happens to third world countries, you know, like or developing countries like Nigeria, that its wealth is based on oil and the world's demands for oil? You know, what happened to oil producing countries? You know, what happened to countries that are that dependent on natural resources? Now that people are moving to electric cars, electric bikes, electric buses, and soon they'll look for a way to make sustainable airplanes. You know, they are going deep into sustainable, and by sustainable that means something that doesn't go with the old model of, you know, oil dependent, you know, vehicles. You know, so we need to be the ones that lead and take advantage of it, because we are seeing the direction that everything is pushing. So we can be the ones that jump in on it and also create a situation where we have our grip on, you know, the economies and the systems and the business around it. And as it's something that, you know, if it's owned by a Christian, you know, think about the money and the power that Bill Gates and all the people that are pushing the vax now. Imagine if that money and that power was held by a Christian. That means all of this nonsense would have never happened. All of the sponsoring of the Wuhan labs, you know, the gain of function research that Fauci was doing, all that nonsense would not have happened, because the money and the power and the influence and the political positions will be filled by Christians and good men who have righteous thoughts and righteous plans for the world, and are not a part of a big giant plot, you know, chess game to try to reshuffle the pieces of power to ensure that only them have power and control and establish a new world order, which is basically a platform for the Antichrist. Let's keep watching.
They have electric buses, and so they're going into like that electric space. How is VinFast going to kind of dominate the electric vehicle world? Because you and I both know there are a lot of new electric vehicles coming out.
You have to know that this is a problem for Elon Musk and Tesla, because in spite of the fact that Elon Musk was there first, you know, like I said, it's not always the leader, the innovator that remains the dominant player in the market. What makes one a dominant player is, you know, continuous innovation, you know, but better business practices, you know, the most profitable business practices and structure and marketing structure that is in place. You know, Elon Musk doesn't believe in marketing, you know, and he doesn't even have an advertising or I think a PR unit for Tesla and all of that. And apart from that, a lot of companies are going into electric cars, and even all the existing key companies are also going. And you have something like VinFast, which is supported by the entire country of Vietnam. You know, you can see these kinds of issues. This is very interesting. This is a huge issue for Elon Musk and the future of Tesla. You know, so that is strong competition for them. Also note that the US government does not support Elon Musk. You could see what is happening with Elizabeth Warren and the leftists and the Democrats and the Elon Musk has too much money, you know, let us shut his money, let us make sure he becomes poor. All these kinds of push and all these kinds of things, it creates a space that weakens his company, and not that these politicians are lobbied by people who probably invest in other companies. Like, of course, in the White House during Biden's administration, unlike the previous Trump administration and even the Obama administration supported Elon Musk. The Trump administration supported him and said that we should encourage geniuses like him and support geniuses like him, that US should support geniuses like him. But the Biden administration is against that, and actually had, I think, a forum or a talk at the White House about electronic vehicles, and they did not invite Tesla. They invited all the other big players that have been doing it with oil and diesel and all of that, but they want to go into oil, and Biden was praising them as leaders. So you can see that the companies and the people behind companies who lobby these politicians have a great stake to play, and you have to see that aspect of things. Elon Musk is not right now, as it would seem, a player in that realm of lobbying and controlling politicians. But we as the Investors Club, we must be mindful of these things, and if anybody is doing the lobbying, we should be choosing the politicians, and the politicians should be buying to our will and bending to what we want them to do. The LGBT push people, and politicians to bend to their will. The BLM woke crowd, the critical theory, critical race theory crowd bend people to their will, push politicians to bend to their will. We must get a handle on that and make sure that we are the ones doing the bending. If who are making people do the bending, if anyone is going to be controlling politicians, we are going to be the ones that is controlling the politicians, not the other way around. And if we leave it and say we are not going to do that, somebody else is going to be controlling the politicians and be working against our companies, and our directives. So that's for the Investors Club to take note of.
Over the next few years. Why would you buy this? There are 3 things they're concentrating on, you guys. High quality products, so they don't want to skirt around the edges and just get whatever and pop it in the car and sell it off. Reasonable prices, so it's going to be very, very competitive with what you can get on the market for other EVs. And the 3rd thing is they really want to take care of you once you've bought the car, so excellent aftercare services. Just for example, guys, if you buy this car, you're going to get a 10-year warranty. That's unheard of
that
in
is
the
powerful.
car space.
A 10-year warranty, and it's interesting. So I wonder how far, what are the terms and limitations that goes with this? Because what I'm thinking is, let's say somebody in a faraway country, far away in Africa, buys this from Vietnam. Does the 10-year warranty still apply? And how the shipping and all of that, whose head is the shipping back and forth going to be on? Who is going to take care of that process of putting it on a ship and taking it back? Is it the person that bought it? So all of that. Or do they have distributor center? I know they do not have distributors or links with representatives in different countries of the world, and that is also a different business opportunity. Starting a company that will basically be an in-between and a licensed distributor and dealer for majority of companies. So he's making money from, no matter what company is manufacturing a car, you are a distributor, an official licensed distributor and representative of all the different brands. And because of your reach, people will still, all the different companies will still want to use it, and you still perhaps have representatives from each company within underneath your roof in each dealership in each country, because of course there's land, the land issue and land is scarce, so they will still want to patronize you. So these are stuff for Investors Club to think about.
Especially for electric vehicles. What is also really cool is you can rent a battery. What they want to do is make it more affordable.
That is powerful. Did I just see rent a battery? Let me see that again.
You're going to get a 10-year warranty. That's unheard of in the car space, especially for electric vehicles. What is also really cool is you can rent a battery. What they want to do
rent a battery. That is interesting.
Is make it more affordable for you to own an EV. So you buy the car and then you rent on a monthly basis the battery. So
basically it's like a subscription service for the battery, and that's way they have shortened, they have cut down the price. So rather than a bulk price to buy the full battery, you are now paying for the battery on a subscription basis to, so the cost of the battery is different from the cost of the car, and that way decreases, the total cost you pay on the initial payment or the successive payment. But it might end up being more expensive when you accumulate everything together. Keep in mind that we are also living in a space where, due to Ubers, there is a different market for the need of never owning a car. Because if you can have a subscription-based service to Uber, to a company like Uber, and it's reliable, what do you need a car for? And if it can be made to be cheaper than owning and maintaining your own car, what would you need a car for? So there is that other market space that we as the Investors Club, we should think and know how we should move into creating companies that will take advantage of all these different opportunities. It is not enough to have great ideas. You must act on it, and you must act fast. Speed is very important. It has been said that Emperor Napoleon, had he arrived at the Battle of Waterloo earlier, he would have won the war, and that means that all of Europe will be under France today. And who knew Napoleon had an insatiable appetite for conquering? So that means he might have even ended up conquering Africa or America, or going forward to want to conquer China. So imagine how the world will be, and France, will be the #1 language of the world. Everybody will be speaking French. So let's continue.
Only really giving out a small amount of money each month, and they compare that amount to the same amount of money you would spend on a gas car. They're opening, get this, 60 VinFast stores in California alone. That is mad. It's all going to go hit the market.
They are really going hard. 60 VinFast stores in California alone. And see, they are going at Tesla's market, and America is allowing this happen, and the government is not even providing strong support for traditionally, or I should say, indigenous companies. When you allow outside companies to dominate in your country, you are making that other country stronger than yours. But of course, thanks to wokeness, you could see that this is obviously going to go. And of course, it's California that will open their arms to this kind of move.
All at once, I was like, hey guys, where are you?
And keep in mind that the politicians are being paid. They are.
You're opening up first. They're like, no, everywhere. But if you buy it from elsewhere in the States, of course they're going to look after you. They just want their base to be in California because of California's goals to become an electrified state. Let's just go all electrified vehicles. I think 2035 is their goal, to no longer sell any more petrol cars. So that's why they've kind of based themselves in California. NASA is even here. What's up? How are you, man?
I'm encroaching in your territory right now.
Yeah, can you go?
You can listen to what she said. She said, California has set a target, no petrol cars, on that setting date. So what happens to countries like Nigeria that depend on oil? Look at the situation in Nigeria, the corruption, the struggle for finances. Look at the insecurity in Nigeria. And Nigeria still has oil to give the world. So what happens then? And then we have people like Aliko Dangote that is building the biggest refinery in the world, or second largest refinery in the world in Nigeria. What happens when in the soon future, we see people don't want oil cars or petroleum and all of that, And to make matters more interesting, I would add that Aliko Dangote's refinery is also a fertilizer plant. There is the fertilizer production, but on a large scale in the future, that is not going to be a very profitable thing. Everybody else is thinking of electric or thinking of something else outside of oil. He is focused on oil. It's not like oil will stop working, but what happens when countries are making laws like, we will no longer, it is now illegal to sell cars that use oil, that use gas, that use petroleum or diesel? What happens then? And all of these people, they have been indoctrinated in their skills that it is eco-friendly, it is for climate change, it is better that way. And the buyers, the customers are also thinking that way. So what happens then? So let's keep
the States,
watching.
of course, they're going to look after you. They just want their base to be in California because of California's like goals to become an electrified state. You know, let's just go all electrified vehicles. I think 2035 is like their.
You see, 2035. 2035, you know, that may seem like now that it is some distance from now, 2022, but it is not that much. You know, that is less than 20 years.
Goal to no longer sell any more petrol cars. So that's why they've kind of based themselves in California. NASA is even here. What's up? How are you, man?
I'm encroaching in your territory right now.
Yeah, can you go?
Guys,
like,
come,
seriously,
come.
what the hell? Look at the V, look at the light. Ooh. He's learned something from the channel. So we flew from Dubai to actually just reveal this crazy new EV company. And that gives you an idea or an indication of just how big, like, of a splash they want to make. Like, they're going big. They're going big.
Never underestimate a Vietnamese company.
That's it. Exactly. Go watch his vid too.
Can you do a cameo? You want to do a cameo?
Sure.
So I'm going to say, for the first time in my car, I'm going to do a car reveal. And you're just like, hey, that's my thing.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I'm like, it's my turn.
Yeah, sure.
Guys, for the first time in my life, I'm going to do a car reveal.
Yeah, dude, I think that's my thing.
Okay, this is my turn. This is not just any car. This is the first car from Vietnam.
I do.
And you're going to be the first.
How was my cameo? Did I do okay? Was it amazing? Yes. All right, let's do an unveil again because you know that's what we're about on this channel. I need some help, Serge, to get your sweet push over here. Wait, just before we do this.
Yeah.
We're actually here to unveil something way bigger, way more special, and that is Sergi's mustache!
Oh man, I've been preparing for a while, you know. I knew this moment was gonna come.
Right, get out of
so
here,
the
man.
mustache, you know, it's just like,
That's all the showtime again?
That's it, that's your time. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes! Love it. Wow. Look at the plan there. Literally like this. Love it. Right, this right here is the smaller model, the E35. You're going to see sensors everywhere, guys, because this car is going to have some really cool features. You can summon it on your key, or it will drive to you without you actually being in the car. It also has complete remote parking, so it can just park by itself. You get out and you're just like, hey man, like just park over there. Yeah, that'll do. That is so cool. I love that. Right, so you've got the V again here. You've got these double like headlights, which is quite cool. And guess what? We get to go inside. Here we go, here we go, here we go. I'm gonna get in. Ooh. Look at this big screen here. Love. And I love how prominent these are as well. Like, there's no mistaking. Like, you're not actually accidentally gonna put it in reverse, are you? I like it. I like how it's just all very simplified. So this is the smaller version of the two. So you just got the 2 rows and then the boot in the back. Now both these cars are going to have just over 400 horsepower and they're dual motored. So they're going to have 2 electric motors and they're all-wheel drives. 0 to 100 in this one right here is going to be about 5.5 seconds. 0 to 100 in the bigger version is going to be about 6.5 seconds. Now the range for this version right here, you can get over 500 kilometers in range, and for the bigger version, get this, up to 680 kilometers in range. That's like, you literally would not even need to charge it. Like, who drives nearly 700 kilometers? You might have to charge it like once every few weeks. What is so cool, and what I noticed straight away, is just also simplified. But one reason for that is, look, there's no screen right in front of you. Nothing. So all of this information that you would normally have behind your wheel is all going to be displayed on a heads-up display here. So everything is going to be on the windshield in front of you. So that just simplifies
that sounds
all
dangerous.
of this area.
You know, putting the display, you know, on the windscreen, you know, it depends on how the display shows and how people get accustomed to it, you know. That is going to be 2 key things. How does the display show? Since it's going to be on the windshield, you know, it's not going to be on the on a dashboard, you know, where people can see that. Keep in mind that there is a screen, you know, on the side. So I guess it's possible that can be used for navigation. You know, this screen at the side can be used for navigation when and the person choose that nothing shows on the windscreen. But that being said, you know, if the windscreen then becomes, you know, they don't really manage properly how things are displayed, it could obstruct what is in front of the screen, or, you know, in the case of people not knowing or being able to differentiate what is on the other side and what is really on the screen, you know, especially when it is night time or somebody has blurry visions or whatever medical conditions, you know, or something happens, you know, it could create a problem with many accidents, you know. So I don't quite know, but I can understand why they will want to put it on the windscreen, so it will not distract someone when someone is looking on the dashboard all the time, you know, to look at all the navigation and all the different things that, you know, smart cars come with. They could miss somebody passing in front of them. But then there is the aspect of self-driving technology, you know, and, you know, it's being able to detect people, you know. Tesla still has the best inbuilt technology that goes with an EV car, you know. Tesla has the most advanced self-driving technology that I know of, and, you know, all the features, you know. You can't steal a Tesla without being recorded, because a Tesla is being recorded by itself on the inside and the outside. You can't even crash a Tesla, you know, without being recorded, you know. And that's something that I may show you later in this video. But all those kinds of things, Tesla has thought about so many different things that a lot of all these new EVs don't have. You know, they don't have the inbuilt technology. They may have, yes, it's an electric car, it moves by electric, it has this and that, but all these other inbuilt features, Tesla has more inbuilt features that customers have grown to love and have been wowed by, that, you know, now creating a car without those features will be at a disadvantage when it comes to acquiring customers. But apparently this car is doing very well, you know. In just 3 months, look at the large numbers that is doing in sales.
Going to be on the windshield in front of you, so that just simplifies all of this area. Just to talk to you a little bit about the safety features, they've got literally every single 5-star rating that you can get. So these guys they're not just throwing together a car and just like putting it on the market, they're making sure to do it right. All right guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this global reveal here in LA of VinFast. I cannot wait to see these babies on the road. I'm gonna like follow their story and keep you guys updated, because I'm gonna get behind the wheel of this baby very, very soon. I can't wait for that. Thank you guys so much for watching.
So that's that. Let me see if I can show you the video about, you know, the Tesla, and that, you know, you can't crash it, you know. Even if you are driving fast, you know, you can't crash it, somebody's Tesla, and not be recorded. Your car, your license plate number, you know, in most cases will even be captured and all of that. So let me see how that is. I mean, this is the name I'm looking for, and okay, so someone hit my Tesla and I caught it on camera. So this is the video I'm looking for. Let's check it out.
So we basically can see this car approaching from afar, and then they come over, pretty much go on the line and hit my... That's right, you guys, someone hit my car. It's pretty minor damage, but I got it all on camera. So in this video, we're gonna go over why a Tesla is the best car to have if you get hit by someone, and what it's really like to get a Tesla repaired. Also, stay tuned to find out how you could win a performance Tesla Model X at omaze.com/ShelbyChurch. There are so many cool features about this car, but there's one that I think is so useful, so underrated, can in the long run save you thousands of dollars potentially. And most of the general population doesn't know about it. And this feature that I love so much is called Sentry Mode. So before we really get into what happened, you really need to know about this feature that Teslas have. It's something I think every car in the future will probably have, and it's what allowed me to actually capture this all on camera. So Sentry Mode is basically a built-in security system that all newer Teslas have. Sentry Mode uses some of the 8 cameras that the car has for autopilot to save and record footage as you're driving or as you're parked. All the Model 3s have them. The only ones that might not are like the older Model S's.
You know, that's, you know, let's listen to that part again, you know.
Happened, you really need to know about this feature that Teslas have. It's something I think every car in the future will probably have, and it's what allowed me to actually capture this all on camera. So Sentry Mode is basically a built-in security system that all newer Teslas have. Sentry Mode uses some of—
So apparently it's available in newer Teslas, and you know, let me just see, when was this video uploaded? So it was uploaded in 2020, you know. So it has the Sentry Mode where it can record the inside and the outside, you know. Even when the Tesla is parked and it is off, you know, it is constantly recording. And that also means it is in your best interest not to commit any crime around a Tesla, because, you know, we've talked about phones, smartphones and technology, you know, spying on you. So every Tesla is basically spying on people, on, you know, those inside it and outside, you know. And just on another note, you know, it has been said, you know, I don't remember where I saw it on the internet, that, you know, Elon Musk, you know, the car that he gave her, you know, the Tesla that he gave Amber Heard, you know, was recording her, you know. So he was using it to spy on her. But that is that will be best classified as a rumor, you know. It's not something that can really be verified, but it's a common belief out there, and it's something that I saw on the
of the 8 cameras that the car has for autopilot to save and record footage as you're driving or as you're parked. All the Model 3s have them.
So you say as you're driving or as you're parked, it is recording footage and it is storing footage, you know. So anything that happens around the Tesla is being recorded, and, you know, with the ability of it being sent to the cloud, you know, it being stored in the cloud, that means even if you destroy the car, let's say that the car explodes, if someone wants to explode somebody in a Tesla, so the footage is already there in the cloud, you know, and it can be accessed, who touched the Tesla, who planted anything, who went near the Tesla, and what happened before the bomb went off, and all of that. So this Sentry Mode is a very interesting security feature, and I believe that, you know, the VinFast that we just saw, you know, doesn't have it. So let's just round up on this Sentry Mode feature.
The only ones that might not are like the older Model S's. I'm pretty sure the older hardware does not have them, but if you order a new Tesla today, then you definitely get this feature. So back to what happened a couple months ago. So I was getting dinner with a friend who was in town, Brooke Michio. She's also a YouTuber, if you guys know her, and she's thinking of getting a Tesla. So it's like, all right, you need to ride in it. So I ended up giving her a ride back to her Airbnb, and it was on a somewhat busy road, but it had a pretty big shoulder. There were cars parked on the side, so I just pulled up to the side. The road was Beverly Glen Boulevard. So if you live in LA, you know it's like a pretty long road, and it actually goes up into a neighborhood in the hills. So it just kind of felt like a neighborhood. Like, it didn't really feel like a weird place to park. Okay, we've returned to the scene of the crime. I found the exact spot that this happened. So this is the exact spot that I parked. As you can see, lots of room to park and have cars drive by without hitting you. Just 30 seconds into being parked there, I felt that unmistakable, it wasn't a bang, but it was like a really big whoosh sound, and the whole car shook. I knew immediately, like, someone had just hit my car. Like, there's no mistaking it. You know, you feel the whole car move. And I saw the car, but it was gone so fast. I didn't get the license plate. I didn't get anything. In that moment, you're so shocked. You're not thinking, oh, remember the license plate number, like, memorize that. Like, no, that's not, no one actually really does that. So I tapped that little button, had the footage saved, and when I got home, I immediately sifted through the footage until I found it. And this is what we got. So like I said, the car captures every angle, so I was able to see front and back when the car hits me, like 2 angles of it. So we basically can see this car approaching from afar.
And that is very interesting, because the Tesla is recording from different ways. So she was able to see the front angle and the, you know, a different and another angle of the car hitting her, you know, which is very interesting info.
Then they come over, pretty much go on the line and hit my mirror. I kept calling it a headlight earlier. It was a mirror. What is wrong with me? I really had to slow it down to be like, did they hit me? Like, what? So it's a little tricky to see because it does get dark when the car actually hits. So it's basically as if a car driving by like this one just kind of swiped my car and hit the mirror. But you can see they are like on the line. Like they're driving way too close to the edge.
That being said, you know, it brings another question of, do you want, in the name of that kind of security, this kind of situation where you are basically spied on 24/7, you know, by your own car, you know, and how much does your phones and other devices that will come out in the future and new models of other devices be spying on you? Because all this information, let's say somebody hacks into it, then somebody can be spying on you while you are in your car, or anything that is happening around your car, and you know, getting your information and all of that, you know. But anyway, that being said, if you like to be a part of the Investors Club, you know, and invest with us, you know, reach out to us on invest.alfred.vip. Also, if you're not giving your life to Christ, go to our site, click the salvation prayer link, you know, the SP link in the main menu. A page will come out that has a prayer of salvation. Say that prayer and give your life to Christ. Note there's also a salvation prayer link in the description below. Thank you and God bless you.